Okay, so I'm going to show you two tape jobs. They're both an Achilles tape job, but one's the one I teach in class. We just use white tape because I don't want to waste any elasticon, which is what I would normally use for an Achilles. It's a little bit more expensive tape, so we practice one way, and then what I would put on an athlete would be a little bit different. So you always want to protect the Achilles so there's no friction back here, because it can cause blisters really easily. And usually on an athlete I won't put it on any pre-wrap, just to make sure that the tape job is more functional and can stick. So I'm going to put on a little bit just to save some hair here. But your two anchors in the Achilles tape job I teach in class need to go on the skin. And then one anchor needs to go around the foot, pulling lateral to medial. And then what I'm going to do is basically put 3 Xing strips posterior in order to support the Achilles to prevent dorsiflexion. So they need to be slightly plantar flexed. Hold that position. And when I run my strips, I'm basically measuring from his musculotendinous junction all the way to the plantar aspect of his foot. And I'm going to X these all the way up to my anchors. And if you do a good job with this tape job, it's really going to prevent dorsiflexion, which I have them walk afterwards and see if they can walk, and if they can't, it means they've done a good job. So you re-anchor, re-anchor, and I like to see them fill in and then finish with a heel lock on each side and a figure 8. So have them dorsiflex as much as possible. Go ahead and put a medial heel lock, lateral heel lock, and then I finish with a figure 8. And if he had a chance to walk on this, he wouldn't be able to dorsiflex. So that's what I teach in class. Now I'm going to show you a real Achilles, which is what I would actually do on an athlete. So use the same friction pad posteriorly. Once again, I don't use a lot of pre-wrap where the anchors would be, but to protect the hair and the skin, you can use some. And your anchors, once again, should go at the musculotendinous junction, because we're supporting the Achilles. And then one more anchor, lateral to medial on the foot. So this is elasticon. It's good for tendons. Once again, I want to keep him slightly plantar flexed. And when I put this on, I'm going to anchor it first so I can apply a little bit of resistance to support his Achilles. So I'm going to get this nice and tight, cut it at the anchor. There's a couple things you can do with this. I'll show you the first way is just to put it on, give it a little bit of resistance, not too much, and then re-anchor. If you want to support the other plantar flexors, like the peroneals or the tibialis posterior, you can do the same thing. Re-anchor. You can go ahead and measure, and then once you cut it here, elasticon has a nice red line down the middle. You can find that red line, cut it right down the middle, and then you can split it to support the tendons on either side. And I can bring those around the side here. Either way is fine. You can combo it, whatever your preference is, whatever your athlete feels the best for them. So at this point, I'm going to have him dorsiflex as much as he can. I'm going to fill in to the ankle joint. And then at this point, I'm using shear light, because this is a tendinous injury. I don't want him to have too much restriction. So I'm going to put on a lateral heel lock, medial heel lock, and then go into a figure 8 just to make sure all the tape is staying on. We'll finish with a couple coach tape strips, and basically when he runs, he should feel a little bit of spring. That Achilles is supported. This tape job is the one we do in class. This would be a lot more restrictive tape, and this wouldn't be something I'd put on an athlete, but this is the one we practice in class. This is what you'd see on the field.